One of the reasons that manufacturers recommend flushing your water heater as part of maintaining it is most water coming to your home is going to have sediment in it. Sediment is dirt, silt, and sand that's in the water coming to our homes. The amount of sediment that you have in the water coming to your home really depends on where the water's coming from. The reason that manufacturers care so much about sediment buildup in your water heater is that it can cause it to be less efficient, shorten its lifespan, or cause parts to fail. When you look in the owner's manual of your water heater, it says that you should flush it at least once or twice a year. The frequency really depends on how much sediment we find when we actually flush the water heater. The basic flush that I'm going to show you in this video doesn't require you to drain the entire water heater, and that's what I recommend that you start with. You're going to need a bucket, a water hose, and a screwdriver. If your water heater is electric, go ahead and shut power off at the breaker panel. If it's gas, like this one, turn the thermostat at the bottom of the water heater down to vacation mode or pilot. The next thing you want to do is shut the water off coming to the water heater. That's going to be on the cold water side. Now, you have to identify which line coming to the water heater is the cold water. If you look on top of the water heater, a lot of water heaters nowadays have a colored plastic piece around the pipe. Red for hot, blue for cold. Sometimes you can actually see the word hot or cold inscribed or depressed in the metal. If you don't have either one of those, you can actually feel the lines coming off the top. And if one is warmer than the other, that's your hot side. Once you know which one is cold, you're going to want to follow that back up to wherever there's a shutoff valve, and you're going to want to close that valve. So take your hose and hook it to the spigot at the bottom of the water heater. If you could see inside the water heater, you'd notice that the tank only comes down to about right here. You'd also notice that as the sediment enters the tank, eventually it settles on the bottom. Right now, the water heater is pressurized, and if we open that valve on the bottom, there's going to be a lot of force to pull the water out or to push the water out, and the sediment is going to come out with it as well. So we want to take advantage of that force when getting as much sediment out as we can, because we really want to assess how much sediment is in the water heater. So grab a bucket, put your hose in the bucket, and then we want to catch what's coming out of the water heater so we can inspect it and see what was in the bottom. And then open the valve as quickly as you can all the way. You'll notice the pressure drop off after a couple of seconds. After the pressure has subsided, go ahead and close that valve. Pour the water out of a bucket slowly so that you keep as much sediment in the bottom of it as you can. If you notice while I'm pouring this, those shadows in the water are actually sand and sediment that's still floating around. Let the sediment settle in the bottom of the bucket so that you can see all kinds of things in the bottom of this water heater. We want to repeat this a couple more times, so the next thing we're going to do is turn the cold water back on. So turn the cold water supply back on so that it repressurizes the water heater. Then we're going to shut the cold water off again and open the valve at the bottom of the water heater all the way open. The faster you can open it all the way, the more force it's going to create to help pull that sediment out of the bottom of the tank. So we got way less sediment that time compared to when we first began, so it seems like we've gotten most of the loose stuff out. After doing it a few times, you can see how much less debris we're getting out of the bottom of the water heater. So let's go ahead and clean this up and get the water heater turned back on. Make sure the spigot at the bottom of the water heater is closed and disconnect the hose. Make sure that you turn the cold water supply back on. Go around the house and open the hot taps to make sure you purge all of the air out of the pipes. Turn the thermostat on the water heater back up to where it was, or the breaker back on, and then watch for leaks. You can get one of these caps that you can put on that will stop dripping. At any point, if you feel like you've gotten in over your head, stop and call a plumber that you trust for some help. Until next time, good luck with your next project. Thanks for watching. See ya.